one of the things that bound Ali and I together was we each realized that in order to live an authentic spiritual life, we had to resist the religious devaluation of queer people.
Hmm.
And I think that that's a very important part of the book. That like, if you are living in the middle of a structure and a system that is going to systematically devalue you and demonize you, like to stand for truth and to stand for love means to oppose that and resist that.
Hmm.
And whether it's overt or whether like just being true to yourself and rejoicing in that is an act of resistance against,
Hmm.
folks who want to control you and use your sexuality as a weapon to oppress you. I've often thought for me to follow like Christ in a way, like, yes, I do have to bear a cross. But what I've realized is that the cross that I've actually had to bear is like seeing the young people that I serve, seeing how their lives have been devastated by the religious tradition that raised me and inspired
Hmm.
me. I mean, to see this wreckage done, to see this cruelty done to all these kids in the name of God
Hmm.
when I love God so much.
Hmm.
Like it tears me apart. Like sometimes I don't even know how to cope. I will tell you, like I think about, the things that so many young people have gone through. I think of like their voices telling me what their parents did to them.
Hmm.
I think about the look in their eyes when they tell me that, they were cast out and told that they were abominations.
Hmm.
Like, I don't know how to deal with it. When I was young, I was very inspired by a lot of the saints, by a lot of the Catholic mystics.
Hmm.
I was very inspired by the Catholic worker movement. Um, and that stuff is really deep in me. There's an obsession within a lot of organized religion, and very much so within Catholicism, with like authority and control.
Hmm.
And I really have no interest in that. But
Hmm.
but having said that, I'm often reading like Saint Therese or Thomas Merton or Dorothy Day. It's like they are an inherent part of my spiritual language, and I can't, renounce that without renouncing something too deep in myself.
Hmm.
And then in a strange way, my Catholicism is also very intertwined with my queerness.
Hmm.
It's like so many of these mystics, like St. John of the Cross or Bernard of Clairvaux, they would write very erotically about God. Like,
Hmm.
the God's love, it just overpowers you and you
Hmm.
submit to it and it's tender and they
Hmm.
often even place themselves in the female role. Like, like
Hmm.
they're into this gendered thing where, well, if God is the male, then I'm the female. And there's
Hmm.
something very subversive about it. Like and that's very much in my spiritual DNA.
Hmm.
I think of like I love to listen to like French monks singing Gregorian chant. Like there's something so yearning and
Hmm.
tender about
Hmm.
it. And
Hmm.
that it's like it's very embedded within my own sense of desire. So it's
Hmm.
not all negative. Like that's, that there's some of it that's very, very rich for me. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, no, like the Sacred Heart, surrounded by thorns, like the passion, the blood, the
Yes.
guts. Like
Yes.
there's something in Catholicism that's very earthy and
Hmm.
sensuous. And
Yes.
all of that was very present as I was coming out and thinking about what it meant for me to be a queer person. There's like the shadow side of Catholicism for me, which is, the authority and the control and the
Hmm.
cruelty and the valuing dogma and teaching over the lives of human beings who suffer because of them.
Hmm.
Like that is awful. But the other stuff that I've just been raving about, like I love it. And I can't, I can't like strip myself of that. It's too
Nor
deep.
should you. Yeah, nor
It's too
should you.
deep. It's too deep
Yeah.
in who I am.
It's deep and it's powerful. And I gotta say, it is the strongest, most inviting case for Catholicism I've ever heard in my life. I mean, I'm like ready to go to mass next week based on what you just shared. And I love the idea of mapping out what queer Catholicism looks like. And I feel like you spoke to many of the potential pieces of that. And I'm moved to share one of my favorite quotes from the book, which connects spirituality and that energy of longing. So you say, I believe that all creation emerged from the throbbing heartbeat of God's longing. The chaos, the violence, the suffering, the beauty, the tenderness, all of it, even its roughest, most jagged edges, every particle of our mad, gorgeous universe is shot through with divine love. I imagine that every one of us, with our desperate, humiliating desires to love and be loved, carry that longing like God's spark within us.
Ooh, fundamentally, I think reality is spiritual.
Yes.
You
Mm,
know, like just the heart of being, it throbs with love.
mm,
That's how I see existence. It's like God loved everything into being, and everything is
mm,
held in being by love. And to the
mm.
extent that we can connect to that love and act it out in our lives, that's the most spiritual thing we can do.